All right, hello, and welcome back to part 3 of our public speaking course for the week of March 17th, 2020. So what I wanted to do was go over the final chapter that we were going to review this week, which is chapter 10, citing sources in your speech. So I'm here in Blackboard in the assignments folder, and I'm going to go find chapter 10 because I've put the lecture notes in there for you to be able to refer back to. Alright, so you want to credit speech sources that you use, and what this does is it increases the likelihood listeners will believe in your message. It demonstrates the quality and range of your research. It demonstrates that reliable sources support your position. It helps you avoid plagiarism and gain credibility as an ethical speaker. Helps you enhance your own authority. And it enables the listeners to locate your sources and pursue their own research on the topic if they want to. So it's necessary to credit a source when the information is drawn from other people's ideas, opinions, or theories, or when facts and statistics are gathered by others. It is not necessary to credit, however, common knowledge, which is established information likely to be known by many people and described in multiple places. All right, so you want to alert your listeners to the key source information. So an oral citation is an acknowledgement of source of a speech material derived from other people's ideas. And you'll cite your source when you present information derived from it, like Reba did in her speech. So you would not include the complete bibliographic reference, and you would present the sources in a rhetorically effective manner. You want to alert your audience to the author or origin of a source, what type of source it was, the title or description of the source, and then the date of the source. You want to have your full bibliography available and encourage the audience to process and believe in the source material. So your bibliography, again, annotated bibliography assignment, this is what I showed you in the first video when you go onto the Gaston College website and you go in the library and you click the cite at the top. That's the bibliography. That's what comes up. So you want to establish the source's trustworthiness. So your source credibility is our level of trust in a source's credentials and track record for providing accurate information. And a source qualifier is a brief description of a source's qualifications to address a topic. It is always better to offer a variety of sources rather than just one, because even a credible source can be wrong. And so that's why in the exercise for the annotated bibliography assignment, you are going to different sources for the same topic. So it's going to establish your credibility. So when you're delivering this, you want to avoid a mechanical approach. So don't do a formulaic acknowledgement of sources to achieve natural speech delivery. So you vary your wording. So one time you'll say, according to the New York Times, and you'll say, as reported by the Gaston Gazette, or in the words of Abraham Lincoln, right? So you vary the order of citing your sources and presenting evidence. And that way you won't sound too robotic when you do it, and that's when you start to lose people. You want to use a variety of sources in your speech, as we just talked about. And qualifying your source can help gain acceptance for your arguments. Okay, so if you're going to cite a book, if you have 2 or fewer authors, then you'll take this approach. If you have 3 or more authors, then you'll take this approach. Reference work, you'll state the title, the date of the publication, the author, or the sponsoring organization. All right, so a print article, online-only magazine, a newspaper, or a journal, you would take the same approach as you did with books. And an organization's website, so you would cite the website, the section of the website, and the last time it was updated. And so this is demonstrating to your class that this source is reliable, in your opinion. Okay, same type of idea with the blog. You just want to make sure your source is reliable and demonstrate how it relates to your main points. If it's a television or a radio program, you'll cite the program name, segment, reporter, and date aired. So according to Anderson Cooper, so-and-so. Online video, same type of idea. Testimony, you'd cite the person, date, and context in which information was offered. Or if you're interviewing someone or in any other type of personal communication that you're having with that person, you want to cite the person and the date of the interview. And a qualifier example will be the professional title of the interviewee. So back in a previous life when I worked as a newspaper guy, when I went and interviewed the sheriff about a suspicious fire that had happened at a house, I would quote him. I would say, you know, Sheriff Johnson said this. He said this looks like arson. And so that's why that therefore gives credibility to what I'm saying. Whereas if I just asked a neighbor, how do we know that that's as credible of a source? Does that make sense? That's kind of what this is trying to explain to you. Okay, so credit sources and presentation aids. We're going to talk more about presentation aids once we get through this informational speech, because you are going to be required to have some type of presentation aid and in your persuasive speech. So there may almost be a blessing in disguise when it comes to that topic, because we're going to be doing this, at least all signs are pointing to, we're going to be doing this in an online type of format. You can use a program like what I'm using to record this video. So I'm using Screencast-O-Matic. That's what it's called. And if you want more information on that, just ask me. But it's a free download. You can only do videos in 15-minute intervals. So that's why I've had to do 3 videos for this one class. But for the purposes of what you're doing, maybe this is a way. And again, this isn't the presentation aid itself, but this gives you a means to provide a presentation aid, right? So Screencast-O-Matic or any other program that you get is not going to come with the PowerPoints that we're looking at right now. I still have to provide that. Okay. So but for now, we'll go over this kind of quickly, but you do want to credit your sources in your presentation aids. So you want to have a copyright symbol, or if you're borrowing a picture from somewhere, you want to make sure that you're citing where you got that from. You know, photo courtesy of the New York Times or something like that. But we'll talk more about that when we get there. And so again, here's an example of that. If you're going to use this image of choosemyplate.gov, if you're going to use this, then you want to have under that courtesy of the USDA. So now you're showing your audience, this is where I got this from. And that first of all, you're attributing it, which is the appropriate and ethical thing to do. And sometimes you have to do it. It could be illegal. But then also you're demonstrating that you got this from a reliable source. And so that helps you make the case that you're making. So facts that are common knowledge or widely disseminated and commonly known, they don't require any attribution. So otherwise you want to cite the source of the fact in your speech. Okay, so an example of common knowledge would be, and this is provided in your book, according to the Galileo Project website, so there's your source, a project supported by Rice University, Galileo was appointed professor of mathematics at the University of Padua in the year 1592. And so there's your fact right there. You provided a source, and that's it. That would be an example of common knowledge, okay? Information that is not your own may be cited in the form of a summary, which is a brief overview of someone else's ideas, opinions, or theories. A paraphrase, which is a restatement of someone else's ideas, opinions, or theories. However, you're putting it in your own words. And a direct quotation is a statement made verbatim or exactly in the way that someone else made it. Okay, so here's a question that I'd like for you to think about and get back to me on. What is a paraphrase? All right, everybody, so we've gone over chapters 8, 9, and 10 over the past 3 videos. We've talked about what's coming up due. So please keep in touch with me. Please let me know what's going on, how I can make your life as easy as possible in these weird times that we're in right now, okay? And try to do your best to hang with me, and I'm going to try to do my best to be flexible and to try to help you pass this class as best as I can do it. Okay, this is a challenge for you, it's a challenge for me. Times are really strange right now, and but let's try to do the best that we can, okay? If you're committed to seeing this class through, then I'm committed to helping you pass this class. Okay, so once again, please let me know if I can help with anything, okay? Otherwise, I look forward to seeing your work, and I will talk to you very soon. Thank you.